Hello, my name is Lenice Omolo. I'm a student at the Kenya Methodist University. I'm pursuing diploma in information communication technology, and this is my final year project presentation. So my project is about a service and location-based SSD for OTECH Communication Limited. So OTECH Communication is a registered Safaricom dealer with 8 branches in Kenya, which are Changamwe, Miritini, Myservice, Mariakani, Samburu, Taru, Aldina, and Uriri. So each of these branches, they offer specific services depending on the available resources and the trained staff. For instance, Changamwe offers all Safaricom services, which are SIM reversal, SIM replacement, M-Pesa reversal support, devices sold, airtime purchase. When you go to Miritini or any other branches, when you go to Miritini, they offer M-Pesa registration, M-Pesa till activation, buy goods and services. But then they do not sell services. When you go to Uriri, they they offer all services, but it depends on the type of ID customer has. Like in Uriri, a customer can only be serviced with only Kenyan national ID. If the person has military ID, alien ID, passport ID cannot be serviced, cannot be held. Unfortunately, customers are not aware of these differences. Hence, they end up going to the nearest shop only to be told that their issues cannot be handled there. As a result, they are sent to a different branch which wastes their time, money, and causes delay. This poor customer experience often affects both the customer and the company. Customer will feel dissatisfied and poor service delivery. While for the company, they'll feel work overload for staffs who must redirect customers without actually serving them. And in Kenya, Safaricom is one of the leading telecommunication providers. It has introduced many USSD services to help customers. Example, check balance, buy bundle, star 456, star 2334, star 234 hash, star 191. However, these services are general in nature and they do not help customers when it comes to visiting, when it comes to offering the specific services a customer needs. Like customers will be told, visit the nearest Safaricom shop, but they're not guided to a shop that actually offers the service they need. Hence, this project proposes the design and implementation of a USSD-based system that help OTECH communication customers find the correct branch based on the service they need. So when a customer dials the code star 384 star 62627 hash, they will choose a service they want, such as SIM replacement, M-Pesa support, device sales, or line registration. The system will then automatically check which OTECH branch offers that specific service and display only the valid branches to the user. If the customer selects SIM replacement, it will display only the branches offering SIM replacement. This will help customers avoid going to branches that can't assist them by guiding them directly to the right branch. This one will reduce unnecessary movement, saves time, saves cash flow, service flow, and also it will increase customer satisfaction across all the OTECH branches. My main objective was to design and implement a USSD-based service matching system for the OTECH communication that guide customers to the correct branch based on the service they need. This project, the description of the study, this project is relevant because it addresses a real challenge experienced by many OTECH customers. While USSD is already used for general self-services like *234# *456, there is no solution that helps customers know which branch can assist them with specific problems. Even the mobile apps websites, they will tell you visit the nearest Safaricom shop, but they do not specify which Safaricom shop. And also, it gives you, yes, a list of a list of shops near you, but they do not specify that this shop that is near you will be able to solve that problem that you are having. They're just telling you, visit this shop. Like if you say, when you're in Changamwe, if you list Safaricom shop near me in their websites, they'll when you're in Changamwe, they'll tell you Ote Communications. But the yes, they're telling you a shop to visit, but they're not actually solving the real problem you are having because probably Changamwe is not offering the service that a customer needs. So those are also one of the so this USSD code will help a customer know the exact branch he or she is going to visit. And also, the customer will be so sure his or her problem will be solved. This problem will help auto customer will help auto communication as a company to manage the customer flow, reduce congestion at certain outlets, and boost customer satisfaction because the customer will be very sure he or she will be helped in that allocated area. It can also be upgraded in the future to support more advanced features like queue checking or appointment booking, whereby a customer can later in the future, a customer can decide whereby the customer will be able to book appointment. Like if I have a problem right now, but then I'm not available this week, if I access through that app, I can also be able to book next week's appointment to that specific shop, that specific branch. This project will focus only on developing scope of the study. This project will focus on developing a USSD solution specifically for auto communication 8 branches in Kenya. It will involve designing a text-based menu, building a database of branch service, and testing the system with real scenarios. The system will be limited to matching branch service availability. It will not include full integration with Safaricom core system or any financial transactions. Hence, no personal information or customers' details will be stored in the database, except in the future when it will be future integrated. Integrated, that's where customer details will be stored in the database, especially when it will involve the booking appointments. But as for now, it will not include full integration. It will just basically uh, to test and evaluate the effectiveness of the system in reducing unnecessary visits and improving customer satisfaction. And also, uh, there is lack of USSD based branch recommendation systems because mostly you'll find companies use apps or even GPS. They tell you the nearest shop around you, uh, the USSD services that are available. They just give you the general solutions, general options. But for you to connect to the right branch, it is not there. Unfortunately, in Kenya, we do not have. And also, for the few solutions that are there, like the apps and the websites, majorly it does not help those people in low connectivity areas, because you'll find those people in local areas, they do not have smartphones. Yes, as per the current population and technology, most people, at least a few percentage have smartphones. And there are also another population that do not have access to smartphones. So technically, they will still be stranded. So the apps and the websites are still not beneficial to all customers. And this project, we use the prototyping methodology, which is one of the agile development approaches. Since agile emphasizes flexibility, user involvement, and building a system in small workable stages. Prototyping fits this principle because it allows a developer, who is me, to create an initial version of the system. I test it with users, I gather feedback, and refine it continuously, upgrade it slowly. Uh, I used prototyping model because one, this system, it requires frequent feedback from staffs and customers to confirm the branch services. Like, okay, the USSD menu must be tested step by step to ensure they are simple and clear. Like, so as not to make a very complex menu that the customer will be so tired, like, or even it is too long, and here the customer just want to know, is this my service offered? Yes. Is it in which branch? Yeah. That's all. Nothing more. And also, it's ideal for short timeline because it allows quick development of usable system versions even without strict. Uh, the system was developed using PHP, MySQL, African Token Style, African Talking API, Grok, and VS Code, and XAMPP. The PHP was used to develop the application logics. MySQL was used to store branch information and available services. The African Stocking API was used to provide the USSD gateway for running and testing the system. Grok was used since it creates a temporary public URL for testing the USSD callback. Because you can't access African Talking API without Grok, without a public URL. And in this system development testing, I used Grok application. Then we use the VS Code for coding, XAMPP for running the local server. The hardware requirements were laptop, desktop, well, I used laptop, stable internet, and mobile phone for console demonstration. Okay. In as much as I was able to use African's API, there are also some limitations. Like the Africans Talking Sandbox SSD can't operate on the real SIM card because of service restrictions and everything. And also African stocking requires full verification before enabling live USSD. So unfortunately for now, it cannot run on a mobile device. Therefore, All prototype testing was conducted using the African stocking USSD stimulator, which accurately mimics a real USSD behavior. So for now, we are using the African stocking API. The system has three layers, which is the presentation layer, whereby a USSD menu interface is shown via the African stocking. And then we have the application layer, whereby the PHP backend handles logic and branch service matching. And then we have the database layer, where MySQL stores branches, services, mapping, and branch details. So when you dial *384 *627, the code in the African stocking way, load in the PHP. And then there are so many services offered by Auto Communications. One, we have SIM service, we have M-Pesa services, we have device and accessories, we have airtime services, we have logistics services, we have social services, we have change of ownership, we have ID requirements. Since different shops require different ID types. And in Kenya, there are so many ID types. We have the national ID, we have the military ID, we have the passport, we have the refugee, we have the alien, and yeah. So when a customer needs SIM service, they also have menu, because under SIM services we have like SIM registration, SIM swap, SIM replacement. When a customer selects M-Pesa services, there are urgent registration, float services for business purposes, till setup, business process payment, and basic M-Pesa service. Customer just come requiring different M-Pesa service. And also there are device accessories, airtime services, change of ownership, and all those. All these branches, they offer different services, like I've said. Like for instance, SIM replacement, when a customer dials this code *384 *627 and select option 2, which is SIM replacement, the customer will be shown only two branches, which is Changamwe and Mariakani. So if the customer is in Taru, unfortunately the branch in Taru cannot offer that service. So technically, this one already tells the customer you will have to go all the way to Changamwe or Mariakani. And then we go to like devices. They are sold in all branches, in all the 7 branches, except Samburu. So when a customer is in Samburu and they want phones, they want other phone accessories, they cannot access it. So they'll have to go to another branch, which is either in Samburu, Taru, Mariakani, any other branch. This is easy for the customer. Instead of going to that shop, standing on a queue, waiting for even 10 minutes, 20 minutes to be served by customer care, only for the customer care to the person. Unfortunately, we are not selling these phones. You'll have to go to our next shop. And remember, the customer has wasted his time there. The customer will be disappointed. And also, it was already overcrowding, because there are other customers who are there and the services are not going to be offered there. If the customer also wants to change ownership, like if the line was registered under the parent's ID, there are only 5 branches that will offer that service, which is Changamwe, Miritini, Taru, Samburu, Urere. Other branches cannot offer. So if the customer wants change of ownership and the person is in Taru, he or she will be forced to go to that specific list that was indicated in the map. This one will save the customer time, money, which is resources, and also will reduce congestion at the shops and also of customers rating the shop negatively. So when when the customer dials *384 *6262 7 hash, the first menu that will pop up, the first thing that will pop up is the menu. So it will tell you, welcome to Auto Commission Services. Uh, we have the SIM services, we have the visa services, we have the device and accessories, airtime services, logistics services, social services, especially the Nojami, change of ownership, and the ID requirements. So if a customer wants the SIM services, he or she will select option 1. And when the customer selects option 1, it will ask the customer, which SIM services do you need? Do you need the SIM registration, SIM swap, or the SIM replacement? If he or she selects SIM replacement, it will give the customer a list of branches offering SIM replacement, which we have Changamwe and Mariakani only for now. And if the customer selects, for instance, SIM registration, he or she will be given a list of these branches, which we have Changamwe, Meritini, Myservice, Mariakani. And if the customer selects Changamwe, it will give the customer the list of requirements the customer will have, and also the time plus the location of the. So if the customer selects Changamwe, it will tell the customer where the shop is, which is OTECH Communications address. It is opposite Changamwe Fire Station. This is the phone number of the office, the operating hours, which is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The types of ID allowed, which is the national ID, refugee ID, passport ID, alien ID, military ID. So if the customer has refugee ID, can be helped within the Changamwe branch. If the customer is having passport ID, will be helped within Changamwe branch. Also, if the customer also selects, for instance, Meritini branch, he or she will be given the location of the shop, which is opposite Meritini Secondary. The phone number of the shop is this one, the working hours, and the allowed ID types, which is the national ID and the refugee ID. So if the customer is having another ID, he or she will not be helped in this specific shop. That is why in the last option of the menu we had ID requirements, so that he or she will be able to see the list of ID in every shop, to prevent also wastage of time for the customer. In the last option, option 8, we have the ID requirements. So the customer can check there. It will give you all the 8 branches, but then each branch has different ID requirements to prevent customer from going, yes, to the wrong shop, but instead of wasting time. If the person is in Mariakani, the only ID that is allowed is the national ID. No refugee ID, no passport, no alien, no military. This one's this USSD code is to help customers determine the right shop for their service and also be able to tell the customer the right requirements for the right branch to prevent customer dissatisfaction. Each shop, different requirements, different services. This USSD code will help customers. It will improve customer service. Um, One major challenge was testing the USSD application due to approval requirements, like for it to run live on a real SIM card. And also, the system does not automatically detect the user's location. Like you see, there's some services that when you dial their code, it automatically detects where you are, the GPS. So, unfortunately for this one, it does not. But in future integration, it will be able to. Uh, for the USSD code to run, the group be has to be online, and this is the URL that I'm using so that whenever you whenever a user dials the USSD code, like the way we're dialing for the SIM service, for instance, the request is sent to our server. So since we are developing locally, we use group, and groups create a temporary public URL, which is this one, HTTP embeddable, this one. So this is the public URL that I'm using. It allows the request to reach this local system. So you see, these are the requests that you are able to see. So this allows the request to reach the local system, which then processes the request and then sends back the response to the user in real time. Like the way we are displaying the main menu and everything. It was sending the users the request goes through group, which makes this server reachable online. So yeah, group then forward the request to the system, and then the system sends the response back to the user. Since group provides a temporary public URL, because because the African Talking API allows the system communicate with the mobile network. So when a user does the USSD code, the API receives the request and sends to the server, which now we are using Grok locally. So once the server processes the request, you see this request now, these ones that are here, because we were trying to see the options that are available in that menu. So it was sending the request back, you see. So that we were able to deliver, so that the PI deliver the response back, so we're able to see it clearly. So we are also using XAMPP, since XAMPP it provides the web server and the database need for my Ussd project to work on my computer. And also I was using VS Code, which to write my PHP, HTML, and other projects called this. So I write my USSD code in VS Code and run it locally using XAMPP. Since our server is local, I use Grok to create a public URL which allows the African Talking API to connect to the system. So when the user dials the call, the request reaches the local server and my system responds back through the API. So that's why in this project I'm using VS Code, XAMPP, Group, African Talking Stage. African Talking API, sorry about that. African Talking. Also, as I have said, I was using MySQL to store the database. So as you can see, I have a table for branches, table for services here, branches. We have the branch services, the ID types, so that's the ID requirements, the services that have been provided. Like if you check, remember when you were after the customers selecting the specific branch, it used to give the customer the address of the shop, the phone number, the opening hours. So like those documents, those details were stored in a database. Here we have the Changamwe, the Mombasa. So this is my database for where all the information of the branches was stored. Branch services, what do they offer, the ID types, the ID requirements, all those things were stored in the database. Uh, and they were also, and I was also using VS Code to write the codes inside that it can be linked with MySQL. Okay, like here, so this is my VS Code, and this is where I wrote the codes. So like for the branches, we have the branch name, county, the area, the address, the phone number, the opening hours. So for like the Changamwe, we have, that's the branch name, county Mombasa, the location which is Changamwe, the area, it is Changamwe opposite fire station. The phone number is the one, this one 1295 1000. Opening hours is from 8 to 5 p.m. Also, like for the Uriri, it is located in Migori County, Uriri location, Uriri near Wendo Junction. Office contact, it is open from 8:30 to 5:30. So you see such things will be able to help the customer know exactly. Okay, and when the car, and also under services, so we had the SIM registration, SIM replacement, SIM swap, all these things were stored in the database. The ID types also, we had the national ID, refugee ID, passport ID, alien ID, military ID. Okay, so we used the primary key, you see this primary key, to make sure that the system never, like customer akichagua kama ni Changamwe, it's directly, it directs the customer directly to Changamwe, so that the system is like Miritini, Miritini. The branch ID types, it links the branch ID to an ID type. Like it means when a customer uses the USSD menu, the system automatically knows exactly which document are needed for that specific shop. So we use the primary key to identify each unique ID for each row, for each data. When we come, you see in the VS Code, you had seen where I selected the ID types to there. Now they are all stored here. Like you see here, we have the national ID, we have the refugee ID, passport ID, alien ID, military ID. So each ID is linked to each branch depending on the service the customer needs. No personal information of customer is stored in the database, no financial transaction, and there's no integration with the M-Pesa core function. So this is purely for OTECH customers. And when they will be upgrading in the future, is where we'll have more restrictions for the admin. Because even if you change things in the VS Code, unfortunately, you'll have to come to PHP MyAdmin so that you will be able to edit changes there. So in the service table, we have the SIM replacement, we have the SIM, sorry about that, we have the SIM registration, SIM replacement, SIM swap. These are the services that are being offered and are being stored in MySQL and they are here in the services table. So when you click the services table, you will get this menu here, this one. The ID types as well. Okay, I'm here. The ID types are also indicated in the table. This table manages system administrators who can add or update more branch information, unlike in the VS Code. Because if you make changes in the VS Code and you did not update it here in the My Admin, it will not reflect. So changes technically have to happen here in the My Admin. And the disables are related using unique IDs, which help the system link these services to specific branches. Yeah, like we have here the national ID, refugee ID, passport. So this is what my table consists of. This is OTECH. We have the branches, so the branch services, we have the ID types, we have the branch services. So in short, my system uses my SQL database to store all the application data. The branches table stores information about the dealer branches, such as names and location. The service table stores the services offered at each branch. And these tables are connected using unique IDs to ensure accurate data retrieval, like primary key, branch ID type. Yeah. So in conclusion, the USSD shop locator successfully met its objective by enabling users to access Safaricom OTECH dealer branch information without internet access by simply dialing the *3384 *62627, and it displays the menu for the customer. The customer will select the kind of service they need, the kind of and the requirements the shop gives. It satisfies the customer and everything. All the requirements the customer meet and everything. So in future, the system can be enhanced by integrating the GPS-based location detection so that it when the customer clicks the *384 *62627 hash, it tells you welcome, then it gives you a menu, services offered in Changamwe. Then some of the challenges in conclusion, the MES is objective. And on the only implementation is that it does not automatically take the user's location. But branch selection, it satisfies the customer, it reduces condition and everything to the main shop of the customer. And then it changes for test, staging, and debugging. Thank you.